Hello and welcome to Auditing 260, or I should say Accounting 260 Auditing. My name is Prashant Rawal and I will be your instructor for this 8-week summer course that starts on June 8th, 2015, which is today, of course. So before we start the class, let's go over quickly about the prerequisites. Accounting 242 is a required, I strike that recommended prerequisite for the course. Um, Here are my office hours. Let's go ahead and get started with the requirements as far as the textbook is concerned. The requirement for the textbook is a custom publication that you will get from the bookstore. Okay, and in addition to that, which is the textbook is the Principles of Auditing and Other Assurance Services, Whittington Penny. You have a class handout packet that you should get for around $12, which is extremely important because my lectures will be from the class handout packet. So you must buy this. Please don't be penny wise and pound foolish and decide not to buy it, because you will succeed in understanding my lectures if you buy this. Principles of Auditing and Other Assurance Services, a custom publication that you will get from the bookstore. Many times students ask me, can I buy this from Amazon? I get it at a much cheaper rate. I may just get an older edition, like 17th or 18th, and I can get it for a much cheaper rate. Can I buy that? And my answer is no, because the custom publication has cases in there that you will be responsible for reading and taking the exam. I'm taking the quiz on D2L. So that's what you would have to buy, the Whittington Penny 19th edition. So for this class, that's as far as the textbook and handout packet is concerned. Okay, a brief overview of the class. The first thing you'll have to do is you will log into d2l.open.edu. Here you will sign on. Okay, let's go to the class, and we will now put it to student mode. So this is what you're going to see when you log into the class. Okay, and welcome to week 1. You should go bottom up. This week the syllabus quiz is due by Thursday, followed by quizzes for chapters 1, 2, and 5. So you should basically read all this information. So I'll be posting all the notes or news bulletins over here. Okay, and the class format is going to be such where there will be weekly quizzes given to you. So you will have 3 exams in this class, which will be taken in the testing center, and I'll go over that later. You'll have homework quizzes and other assignments, which are the cases. So let's go ahead and go to what is covered in the class. The first week, every week there will be 2 chapters. If this was a 16-week course, it will be 1 chapter a week, but this is an 8-week course. It's summer, it goes pretty fast, there's material to cover, so it's going to take some time from you every single week. Our weeks will start on Monday and end on Monday. At Monday 11 p.m. the weeks start. So for the first week, we're going to have actually 3 chapters. But before you start getting so concerned why 3 chapters, let me just say that 1 and 2 are small chapters, 2 small chapters. Usually they are considered 1 chapter. First chapter is the role of the public accountant in our U.S. economy and professional standards. And then you have the second chapter of audit, evidence, and documentation. Okay, so this you can take a look at these 2 as 1 chapter combined, and then chapter 5. So these are the chapters we're going to go over in the first week. So how do we go over the chapters? What is my suggested study pattern? First, when you get the handout packet, okay, the first thing you should do is you should go into the content. Hopefully you should have the handout packet by the end of the first week. As you can see, you can get started with studying right away, because for chapters 1 and 2, okay, I have already posted what you will find in the handout packet right here. So while you may not have the time to go to the bookstore, maybe say at least until Wednesday or Thursday, you can at least get started with chapters 1 and 2. Okay, when you get the handout packet, you should print this out first, okay, and then if you go to section 1, see this class lectures, okay, if you click here, this is what you will open up for chapter 1, and you should have your handout packet in front of you, and then this will go over the entire lecture with you while you are reviewing the handout packet. So that is the first step you should take. The first step is basically open up your handout packet, go over the lecture. At the end of the handout packet, every lecture, there are multiple choice questions. So let me talk a little bit about multiple choice questions. The CPA exam, right now it is 80%, but it's going to increase to almost 90% eventually, where all your questions are going to be multiple choice questions for audit. So our exams, our quizzes will be multiple choice. If you have been in my other classes, okay, you know that for the basic classes, I'm not a big fan of multiple choice, but in auditing, we have to make that exception, because auditing is a test of your judgment, and you build your judgment by looking at alternatives, and you can only find out the best alternative if you have understood the material. This is not a test of memorization. Actually, it's a test of your judgment. Okay, so you will have your handout packet in front of you. You'll open this and you will get started with the lecture. Then chapter 2 and chapter 5. Okay, that's the first step. At the end of every chapter, you will have multiple choice questions. Okay, so the first thing you should do is go over the lecture in the handout packet. Then you should try the multiple choice questions, okay, in the workbook. Now, and I have given you the answers right here. Do it yourself, then check the answers. Even without reading the chapters, I'm asking you to do this, because my objective is that if you start reading the chapters right away, it's going to take you a lot of time to understand the material. But if you have taken this step, you will have a basic understanding, I would say significant understanding of the material, and then if you read the chapters, it will make much more sense. My intent is to help you get done more with less, within less time. Okay, so that's the pattern you should follow. At the end of every chapter, there may also be problems. Okay, then you have the problem solutions. You should do the problem and then look at the workbook problem solution. So that's the first step, okay, that you should focus on. Once you have done that, then I have given you some homework problems. These problems are not graded. There is no submission for these problems, okay. These are from the textbook, but you should do these problems yourself. Again, this is multiple choice. This is multiple choice. Multiple choice, you'll do a lot of multiple choice questions in this class. Okay, you have to. And once you do these problems, then homework, I have also given you the solutions to the homework. These solutions are for these problems. Okay, right here. So that's the study pattern you should follow. First, review my lectures, do the multiple choice questions, okay, check the answers, the workbook multiple choice questions, then do the workbook problems, check the answers, okay, then read the chapters in the textbook. You know, I have asked my A students, and they will tell me that they have ended up reading the chapters 2 or 3 times. Please remember that auditing usually is the last class that people take before sitting for the CPA. There's a lot of material in this class. It's not necessarily a reflection upon me, but it's a reflection upon the content. I have tried my best to make it as organized and as simplified for you as possible, but you will have to do the work. There's no alternative to that. Okay, and then the homework solutions are right here, but the multiple choice, workbook problem solutions, reading the chapters, then doing the homework, and then verifying the homework solutions. And by this time, once you have taken these steps, you're kind of even ready for the exam. Okay, so that's the first section. What do I mean by the first section? The first section covers chapters 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. So that's section 1. Class lectures 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Multiple choice answers from the workbook 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Workbook problem solutions. Okay, there's no problem for chapter 6. Homework solutions 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. These homework solutions are solutions for these problems. Okay, and that's going to be essentially the study pattern for this class. Then you have your section 2. You follow the same pattern: 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then section 3 is 14, 15, 16, 17, and 3. 3 exams in this class, 100 points each. Before I go over the exam pattern, it is not cumulative. Exam 1, so there's no finals, there are just 3 exams. Exam 1 is 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Exam 2 is 10, 11, 12, 13. Exam 3 is 14, 15, 16, 17, and 3. Okay, where will the exams be given? Before I go over the exam pattern, let me tell you where the exams will be given. The exams will, if you go to the table of contents, I have given this to you. Okay, so let's open this up. The exams will be given in the testing center. The first exam will be available from today from 6:08 to 6:30. Second exam will be available from 6:08 to 7:14. Exam 3 will be available from 6:08 to 7:30. My intent is to make sure that from first day itself, all the material is out there for you. You make your own schedule as to when you want to study, but since the material builds up, you cannot understand chapter 5 before you have understood chapters 1 and 2. You cannot understand chapter 6 before you have understood chapter 5. So there is a deadline as to when by when you need to finish up the work. Okay, where can I take the exam? You can take the exams in either Des Plaines Testing Center or Skokie Testing Center. If you tell me I am out of area, I'm taking this online class but I'm not within the area, then we'll make arrangements for you at a nearby testing center. Let me know if that is the case. How many hours should I keep aside for the exam? I give you 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it will not take you that long. Should I call the testing center ahead of time to inquire about their hours? Yes, you should. Okay, this is the number, and hours for the testing center can also be looked up right here. Should I take an ID card with me when I go for the exam? Yes, they will ask for one. Okay, so that's insofar as the exam is concerned. What will the exam consist of? The exam will have, all the 3 exams will have 55 multiple choice questions. 55. Okay, you will be graded out of the best 50, so 5 bonus questions. What does that mean? Well, let's say you got 45 correct out of 55. Then your grade is 45 times 2 equal to 90. Okay, so essentially 5 bonus questions out of 100. Now, let's say you got all 55 correct, which happens all the time. Okay, you cannot get 110 out of 100. The highest grade you can get is still 100 out of 100. But at that level, if you're getting this right, it won't matter because you know you are going to be getting an A in this class. Okay, so that's how the exam is going to work for all the 3 exams. That's the study pattern you have to follow. Now let's talk about the weekly quizzes. The first quiz is going to be the syllabus quiz, which you'll have to take before Thursday night. Okay, which essentially is what I am talking about right now. Then you will have the quizzes for chapters 1 and 2, which will be due by next Monday. It will open up today or on June 8th. Same here. It will open up, and then you need to finish 1 and 2 and 5 by next Monday. And then quiz 6 the Monday after, quiz 7 also Monday after. So every week there are 2 quizzes. Then you have a case, which I'll go over the case material later on. And then you have your first exam. This you will take in the testing center. It has a password, so you won't be able to open it. The testing center will have the password. The practice exam. You should take this exam. Students make a mistake of taking this exam but keep their books open. No, you take this as a practice when you're ready to take the exam, just to get a feel for the exam. Okay, it's very similar. It's completely similar to this. All right. When you take this quiz, how many attempts do I give you for the quizzes? 2 attempts. The primary reason why I give you 2 attempts is because if there's a technical failure, and the computer dies, you still have 1 more attempt to take the quiz. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you 2 attempts. But students use it as an opportunity to get more exposure. Will I give you answers for this? I only give you answers for those questions that you got incorrect, so the learning process is completely finished. Okay, so that's my intent behind giving you the answers. But I have a limited question pool because my questions are straight out of the textbook. I do not experiment here. I give you this straight out of the instructor's question bank. I do a lot of experimentation in the workbook multiple choice questions because I take them straight out of the CPA exam. Here I just give you these questions. I try to be conservative and just give you the questions straight out of the workbook. My fault, straight out of the author's question bank. So I have a limited question pool. So I only give you answers for those questions that you got incorrect, as I tend to use those questions in the exam as well. Okay, so that's the pattern that you will follow. The same is the pattern for section 2 and then for section 3. It gives you the deadline right here. Okay, so please make sure you're following this pattern. Right? So this is essentially for the quizzes. Now, if you go into as far as the cases are concerned, I have given you separate instructions for cases, which you should open up over here and you should read them. Okay, you should review these case instructions. Then you have your first case, second case, and case 3. There's nothing to submit for the case except for you'll have to take the case quiz online as well. But I have given you the instructions on what you need to do for the case. These cases are in your textbook. Okay, that's why it is important that you buy the textbook. Statement on Auditing Standards, SASs. If you click here, it'll take you right to the SASs. You don't need to memorize this, but you should know the audit objectives and the cases on the AICPA website. Okay, and the famous Sarbanes-Oxley Act passed by the government, right here. Okay, and then this is just a good internal control white paper that I really like, so I posted it here. These things are additional resources. You may be referring to SASs if you want to, but it's not necessarily a requirement for this class. And then these 2 are the handouts that until you buy the handout packet, you at least have this material to get started with the lectures. Okay, podcast. This is of course the syllabus. Sometimes I'll ask you to watch some movies or short clips. The password is balance, BALANCE, and when you go in, there are some different short clips on audit frauds that I have posted here that I'd like you to watch. I'll be posting by which date should you be watching this. It's a good exposure to you about real life situations in auditing, so make sure you watch that as well. Okay, so this is essentially the gist of the course. what you need to do. And then I also have some PowerPoint presentations. If you want to review those, you can, but they are not necessarily a requirement. So long as you follow the format that I have asked you to follow, straight away start with the lectures, do the multiple choice questions in the workbook, read the chapters, do the homework. If you follow that pattern, you'll be fine. And I say this to all my students: you earn your grade. I do not necessarily give you a grade. I give out a lot of A's. Students, I try to make it as organized as possible, but you will have to also do the work. It's a summer course. It's an 8-week course. Yes, it's going to go fast, but mentally be prepared for it. Warning that I give all my students at the end. Many times I see students, because the weekend's on Monday, they wake up on Monday and they try to do all the work in one day. That's like starving yourself for a week and then trying to eat in a day. You won't be able to digest that, right? Please study in shorter sessions. Study during the course of the week. Instead of spending 4 hours in one day, spend hour, hour and a half almost every day. That will help you understand the material much better. Okay, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to an exciting 8-week session for auditing with you. By the way, a little bit about myself before I leave you. Prashant Rawal, I am a full-time instructor at Oakton Community College. I've been teaching for over 10 years. Prior to that, I was doing auditing for an accounting firm. I've been teaching at Oakton for over almost 10 years. But my teaching experience is almost 12 years. Before that, I was in the industry. I was a public accountant. And in my lectures, I try to spend a lot of time going over those concepts and things that I have learned from my own experience. So I hope you'll enjoy the lectures that I have recorded for you. Thank you very much, and welcome again to auditing.